The VITA Classical Shade Guide continues to be a widely used shade guide. The shade guide is arranged into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. The manufacturer indicates the A specimens are reddish-brown, the B specimens are reddish-yellow, the C specimens are gray, and the D specimens reddish-gray. Human teeth are reddish-yellow to yellow in hue, and they exhibit varying degrees of color intensity or chroma. They also have a range of values, that is, lightness or darkness. This shade guide provides an appropriate selection of samples that cover the color space occupied by human teeth. Many methods have been successfully used to compare shade guide specimens with natural teeth, and this video demonstrates one of many successful methods. The first step in this method is to determine which of the 4 groups of specimens, that is A, B, C, or D, most closely approximates the color of the natural teeth. This decision can be aided by removing the most intensely colored specimen from each group, that is A4, B4, C4, and D4, and simultaneously holding these 4 specimens in proximity to the teeth to identify the one that produces the best blend with the natural teeth, even though the intensity of the shade guide specimens may be a little greater than the person's teeth. This process of using 4 most intensely pigmented specimens works well when the natural teeth have moderate to high levels of color intensity. However, it can be problematic when the natural teeth have much less intense pigmentation and are much lighter, that is, higher in value. Under such conditions, less intense specimens from each group can be used, such as A2, B2, C2, and D2. While holding the 4 less intense specimens, the ones with the poorest color match are visually eliminated. With this patient, elimination of the poorly matching groups left the B and D samples as the remaining choices. These 2 specimens are held in approximation to the teeth so the best group can be selected. Holding the specimens below multiple teeth may be helpful. During the color comparisons, short duration glances should be used. It is wise to look away from the mouth, focus on a distant object, and then look back for a short duration glance to gain your first impression as to the best color match. Looking away from the mouth and staring at a blue piece of paper or cardboard helps sensitize the eyes to the hues most commonly found in natural teeth. For this patient, the D group was determined to be the best. Identification of the best D specimen is then made by simultaneously holding all the D samples next to the teeth. It is usually a relatively easy process to identify the number of the specimen that most closely matches the color intensity or chroma of the natural teeth, and D2 was determined to be the best choice. Even though the selection process has now been completed, it is a prudent process to verify value, since it is generally recognized that lightness and darkness is the most important of the 3 dimensions of color, and the aspect most critical to optimizing the color match between an artificial substitute and natural tooth structure. Therefore, the final choice should be verified using a second shade guide where the specimens have been arranged according to value rather than according to groups. This guide is arranged with the lightest specimen B1 on the left and the darkest specimen C4 on the right. Using the value-ordered shade guide, the preferred D2 sample is removed from the guide along with a specimen to its left and to its right. The B2 specimen to the left is lighter than D2, and the A2 sample on the right is darker than the D2 sample. The 3 value-ordered specimens are held in proximity to the natural teeth and a decision made as to which one best matches the teeth. the previous preferred choice of D2 is verified as the specimen most closely matching the natural teeth. When comparing a shade guide specimen and a natural tooth, it can be helpful to hold the guide sample below the natural tooth so the facial surface of the shade guide tooth and the natural tooth reflect light in the same manner. When a shade guide specimen is superimposed over a natural tooth, the color may appear different because a tooth-colored background is present instead of the darkness of the mouth that serves as the background for natural teeth. Moving the specimen from side to side so it is located beneath different teeth can also be helpful. When the final selection is made, it is recorded in the patient record and on the laboratory work authorization form.